Young people are struggling all over the world. Rising inflation has made it difficult for young people to manage their finances. Many young adults have to take on second jobs or work overtime to make ends meet. For instance, 46% of millennials and 38% of Gen Z reported needing extra work to stay afloat. In the United States, 31% of Gen Z adults are living with their parents. Affording their own place is as likely as finding a unicorn in their backyard. The affordability crisis is a perfect storm of high mortgage rates, low housing inventory, student loans, and escalating home prices, making it harder to secure affordable housing than finding a needle in a haystack while blindfolded. This has led to the doomer trend characterized by a pervasive sense of pessimism. In China, this trend has taken a whole new twist. Meet the tamping or lying flat generation. This crew has mastered the art of horizontal rebellion, resisting economic exploitation by avoiding employment and consumption, and basically turning life into one long staycation. They've taken the advice of, if you can't beat them, lie down and take a nap to heart. Over the past few decades, China has transformed from a sleepy agrarian society to an economic juggernaut, growing its GDP faster than a cat video goes viral. From the late 1970s, China's GDP growth averaged nearly 10% per year, lifting over 800 million people out of poverty according to the World Bank. But with all that hustle, you'd think they'd get a break, right? Nope. In democratic countries, wealth gets spread around eventually. But in China, the Communist Party keeps a tight grip, making sure wealth doesn't stray outside its cozy circle. Even self-made billionaires like Jack Ma can be turned into cautionary tales quicker than you can say IPO. Jack Ma's Ant Group was set to launch the world's largest initial public offering. But just days before the IPO, Chinese regulators hit the brakes, citing regulatory changes and business practice concerns. This was seen as a response to Ma's public criticism of China's regulatory system. He called Chinese banks pawn shops and the regulatory environment a buzzkill for innovation. After this, Jack Ma mysteriously disappeared from public view for months, likely stuck in the CCP's interrogation room, trying to survive their intense questioning sessions. Young Chinese intellectuals turned to Tang Ping after realizing that without a Communist Party background, a decent life is about as attainable as winning the lottery. This form of resistance doesn't involve waving banners or chanting slogans. It's all about flying under the radar, avoiding ideological repression, and not catching Xi Jinping's eye. China's major cities have some of the world's highest real estate prices, but China's per capita GDP is only around $10,000. Imagine having to work more than 40 years without spending a penny to buy a house in Shenzhen or Beijing. It's like running a marathon where the finish line keeps moving further away. This makes it nearly impossible for the average person to start a family. Let's not forget the one-child policy that left China with 33 million more men than women by 2016. This imbalance, coupled with rising expectations from women, means finding a partner is like competing on The Bachelor with no roses to give. The pressures don't stop there. Grooms are expected to give betrothal gifts as high as $53,000 and shoulder the cost of a car and a house. These hefty expectations are contributing to fewer marriages and children. China's fertility rate was 1.3 in the 2020 census and has continued to plummet far below the replacement level of 2.1 children per woman. Estimates suggest it could drop below 1 in 2024, leading to an aging population and a shrinking workforce. This spells trouble for China's future economic growth. With declining economic growth and the trade war with the US, finding employment has become harder than ever. Parents, who thrived during the boom, invested heavily in their children's education, and this resulted in a surplus of highly educated graduates with similar qualifications. More than half of the youths hold an undergraduate degree. But even graduates find it hard to secure decent jobs. In April 2022, the youth unemployment rate in China reached a record high of over 18%. Then the government decided to hide the metric, probably hoping no one would notice. This only deepened feelings of hopelessness, driving many to part-time jobs like courier work or influencer gigs. Even when jobs are available, the 996 culture, working 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., 6 days a week, led to overwork, mental illness, and increased suicide rates. This is a cruel joke if you consider China's brutal education system, which is like a pressure cooker for kids. The Gaokao, China's national college entrance exam, determines students' access to higher education and significantly impacts their future job prospects and social mobility. Approximately 12 million students took the exam in 2022, with only 85% gaining admission to colleges and universities. The pressure to perform well leads to high levels of stress and anxiety. Many students experience mental health issues as a result. A recent survey found that over 54% of students cited school admission pressures as the reason for their anxiety and depression. There's also a glaring disparity in educational opportunities between urban and rural areas. Urban students have better access to quality education, resources, and experienced teachers, while rural students often face inadequate facilities and limited access to higher education. Urban students are 5 times more likely to attend college than their rural counterparts, with the disparity even more pronounced at prestigious universities. So picture this: after surviving the educational gauntlet, you find out it's nearly impossible to land a stable job or start a family. And if you do succeed, you might end up on the party's radar. No wonder young Chinese are embracing Tangping culture. Instead of grinding away only to be exploited, they find it better to earn just enough to live, reduce consumption, and embrace a minimalist lifestyle. One young person revealed he lived on 200 yuans, about $30 a month for 2 years without a stable job, eating 2 meals a day and engaging in free leisure activities like fishing and walking. When he ran out of money, he'd work part-time at a film studio and then live off that money for months. He argued that working hard only makes one a slave to the social system and capitalists, ending up with nothing but illness. While this phenomenon isn't unique to modern China, the irony is that China declared itself a prosperous society, yet it's far from being a developed country. If this trend continues, China could fall into the middle income trap, which is harder to escape than quicksand. This could have several negative consequences, making it difficult to improve living standards, reduce poverty, and create jobs, leading to social unrest and political instability. It's like following the footsteps of Argentina, Brazil, Thailand, and Malaysia. The term Tangping has been banned on the Chinese internet, and the media criticizes the movement, calling it shameful and urging the youth to wake up. But more Chinese youths are simply laying down, saying if you're going to lose the game of life, it's better to lose at the start line than the finish line. That's all I have for today. If you made it this far, please hit the like and subscribe button. I'll see you next time.